Hey everybody, Scott Spreitzer of DocSports.com. Hope you're all doing well and welcome to the report for Friday, December 14th, 2018. Free pick coming up in just a moment in Friday Night Basketball, and we'll get to that. But first, a quick note. Got that free offer for those who have yet to become members over at DocSports.com. And if you've yet to do that, all you got to do is click on the link below the video. Get yourself set up for a free $60 account. It's a great way to give it a try over at DocSports.com. Free $60 account, and you can use that free $60 on any of my individual daily packages or anybody else over at DocSports.com. And again, it all starts by clicking on the link below the video. Get set up for that free $60 account. I think you'll be glad that you did. In fact, if you get it today, you can go over and you can grab my college and pro football plays, first few college football bowl games through next Wednesday, including a big 7-unit play. Also, you can get all of my remaining plays in the NFL, which go on Sunday and Monday. We're also involved in the Monday night game this week. We got a 7-unit play in the NFL. They're all available right now, 7 plays at DocSports.com, and you can use that $60 free account to grab those if you'd like. We are coming off a tough total loss last night, the matchup between Kansas City and the Chargers, as that went over the total by a couple of points. We played the under, small play, but a play nonetheless. And yeah, it's always tough to watch Kansas City when you play the under, but had a lot of opportunities for that game to stay to the low, and it just didn't stay. And it goes over by a couple of points in the final seconds of the game, and that snapped our 5-0 streak from last week. But it's been an incredible season, obviously, over at DocSports.com in football. 58-33 is our long-term run, going back about 10, 11 weeks now. College football and the NFL combined, still up over $12,200 for those wagering just $100 per unit. I'm hitting 64%. College football, NFL combined, over the past almost 3 months now since this streak began. And you know about the NFL, 50-28, our last 78 going back to late last season. So don't miss out. Between now and Wednesday, we've got a few bowl games. We've got 3, and one of those happens to be a big 7-unit main event. We've got a 7-unit main event topping Sunday's NFL and Monday. 4 plays remain for us in the NFL Sunday and Monday night. One is a 7-unit play. And by the way, those top plays, college football and the NFL, how about 16-3-2 over the past 11 weeks? We've been tearing it up, and we'd like to continue to do so this weekend and beyond, college football bowls and the NFL. Also going to be in action in the NBA for Friday and the NHL. We're hitting over 65% in the NBA, our current winning streak. NHL's been great all season, and we are up over about $3,000 for $100 per unit players in the NHL for the season. So don't miss out. They're all going to be available Friday as far as the basketball plays, the NHL plays at DocSports.com, and the NFL and college football bowls are available as we speak. Go grab them right now, and if you get that $60 free account, you can use that on this week's football plays from me. And again, any capper of your choice. Start it off by clicking on the link below the video. Get that free $60 account. All right, free play coming up in just a moment, but as we promised on Thursday's video, we're going to take a look at some of the key players who have already announced that they're not going to play for their team in the upcoming bowls because they want to prepare and get ready for the NFL draft, and also you don't want to suffer a bad injury as you're getting ready to enter the NFL draft. Now, I scoured the net and different websites of the teams for some of these. Also found out after doing all the work over at ESPN.com, they grouped them all together. We're not including all the players that were listed at ESPN.com, but you can certainly go check it out. And the reason I didn't is because some of them just were players that we think are going to matter that much to their team. But here's the key players that I think everybody should know about when they go to handicapping the bowl games. West Virginia's got a couple of guys missing, including one of their offensive tackles, and he's projected to be a second or third round selection, a Big 12 offensive lineman of the year this year, and he's one of the best pass blockers for West Virginia. The good news for Will Grier, he doesn't have to worry about his offensive lineman, his best, not playing, because Will Grier for West Virginia has decided to sit it out at quarterback. And, the guys that do that for a living as far as picking where teams are going to draft certain players, guys like Mel Kiper, I do his radio show on Saturday mornings on ESPN, and he's got Will Grier projected as the number 3 quarterback coming out of college football this year, so you can kind of understand why Will Grier doesn't want to jeopardize a potential high-round pick and a big paycheck from the NFL. So those two players are going to be missing. The guy who has to worry about not having his best offensive lineman to pass block for him is Jack Allison. He used to play for the Miami Hurricanes, by the way, and it looks like he's probably going to be the starter in Will Greer's absence. He's only thrown 10 passes this season, 6 for 10, 75 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. So certainly a big drop-off there for West Virginia. Outback Bowl, the Iowa Hawkeyes tight end Noah Fant is going to pass on this game. He's going to get ready for the NFL draft, as he probably should. I mean, he's the best tight end in college football this year. 39 pass receptions, 519 yards, 7 touchdowns, and he's going to miss the game. Listen, here's the thing about the Iowa Hawkeyes. They have several tight ends that can step up. Now, they're not going to have him, but they've got a couple of others that can step up, and I don't think there's going to be a big problem with Iowa getting the ball to tight ends, getting that blocking that they need from their tight ends at times, just because Fant is going to be missing this game. As far as Michigan is concerned, playing in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Rashawn Gary, their strong defensive tackle, is not going to play in the bowl game. And remember, he did get injured earlier this season. He missed 3 games. They got a kid who stepped up for him by the name of Pave. I've heard him called Pave also, but anyway, he's played a few reps, more than a few reps, with Rashawn Gary being injured earlier this season. So a little bit of a problem there without Gary, but they've also got a great player coming up behind him, certainly a blue chipper to fill his shoes, so to speak. Minnesota's going to be in the Quick Lane Bowl, and they're going to be missing offensive tackle Donnell Green. They got a sophomore who started at left tackle when Green missed 2 games earlier this season. So their sophomore that's going to step up here, Sam Schloiter, is not a guy who hasn't seen starting experience for Minnesota. But anyway, Donnell Green, the offensive tackle for the Golden Gophers, is going to miss this game. NC State, with a couple of players, are going to miss their bowl games. Wide receiver Kelvin Harmon, linebacker Jermaine Pratt. They are both going to miss the bowl game, the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl for NC State. NC State does have a couple of quality receivers to take over the targets that Kelvin Harmon would have received. It'll be interesting to see how they react when they don't have the focus of the defense on Harmon. So anyway, those 2 players for NC State are going to miss that game. Oklahoma State, their running back Justice Hill, you probably have already heard that he's going to miss the Liberty Bowl. Ultra quick running back, one of the fastest that you'll see in college football. He was all Big 12 and missed time. They've got a guy by the name of Hubbard who's going to fill his role. I don't think he can play at Justice Hill's level, but it's not a huge drop-off. But anyway, Justice Hill out for Oklahoma State. You heard about Houston, man. Ed Oliver, defensive tackle, best player on the team, is going to miss their bowl game, the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. This is one of your top 10 players, no doubt, maybe even higher, top 5 players in the entire NFL draft. And you remember that he was considered to be the number 1 pick at one time. He has had some injuries. I don't blame him coming out and missing this game at all because he has suffered injuries that have cost him a little bit along the way in his college career. A kid by the name of Fleming will fill his role at defensive tackle, but that is obviously a key cog to that Houston defense. Ed Oliver not going to play for the Cougars in the bowl game. Wide receiver Deebo Samuel for South Carolina, he's going to miss the Belk Bowl. And you're talking about a guy who's probably going to go in the 3rd round of the draft. But 62 receptions, over 880 yards, 11 touchdowns on the season. Led the Gamecocks with those receptions. LSU corner Greedy Williams. Everybody's heard about Greedy Williams if you follow the SEC, and how can you not if you're an SEC? I mean, if you're a college football fan, one of the top 10 players again in the draft next April. He is going to miss this game. And Christian Fulton is the player who's expected to fill his role. And by the way, he's another blue chipper who LSU is counting on for a big career in college. So I don't think there's going to be a huge drop-off at that position for LSU. So there's some of the key players that are going to be missing their bowl games that we know of right now. And again, you can check it out over at ESPN. They list them all the guys. I think it was like up through December 12th that they updated that list. So go check it out. We read a lot of the stuff that they have on their site, but we left a few players off our list that we don't think are going to be big deals when it comes to missing their bowl games for their team. All right, listen, again, here's what's going on right now at DocSports.com before we get to the free play. We've got the NFL and college football, our first set of college football bowl games, the early games, available right now at DocSports.com. You can go grab it right now. You can use that free $60 free account to grab my daily packages at DocSports.com. Our record college football and NFL the last 11 weeks, almost 3 months of winning, 58-33, 64% against the spread. $100 per unit bettors up over $12,200. Don't miss out on this week's card. 5-0 last week. We did our streak snapped by the over in the battle between the Chargers and the Chiefs. It goes over with, 3 or 4 seconds left in the game. Still hitting 58% with our last 259 plays in all sports. So go grab the NFL and college football bowl package. It's one package altogether, available right now. DocSports.com. 2 more big plays. 7-unit main event in the NFL AFC Game of the Month. 7-unit early college football bowl play. All available right now. 16, 3, and 2 is our current top plays run. And we'll be in, again, NBA action. We'll be in NHL action. The games are already handicapped, written up. They'll be posted early over at DocSports.com on Friday. And we're just winning like crazy right now in the NBA. Over 65% winners. Lost last night. We did it the free play here, though, with the Orlando Magic. We got another free NBA play that we're going to get to right now, and that is the Golden State Warriors minus the points over the Sacramento Kings. Late game on the West Coast. And listen, here's the thing. Golden State was able to defeat Sacramento only by 1 point, but put 117 points on the scoreboard when last these two teams met. Steph Curry wasn't available. That's when he was missing all the games with the injury. But the Kings had no answer on the Golden State's offensive end of the floor for the combination of Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson. I don't think they have any answer tonight. Plus, they've got to also worry about Steph Curry, who's obviously been back for several games now. And you got a ticked-off Golden State basketball team who's coming off a horrible performance in a 113-93 loss to Toronto. How about these numbers? The Warriors were 6 for 26 from the three-point line. Steph had a horrible night. They only made 9 free throws in the entire game. They committed 19 turnovers against the Raptors, and again, lost by 20 points. Players weren't too happy. Coaches weren't too happy. I expect a focused effort tonight. Sacramento's a good team, but if Golden State decides to drop the clutch, I think they cover this spread, win the game by 15, 16 points. Golden State minus the points is the free play for Friday. And again, don't forget, we'll be right back here probably around 11 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Friday night, which is about 8:30 p.m. Eastern out here on the West Coast with Saturday's next free play and video. So be sure to come back for that. All right, listen, I'm Scott Spreitzer, DocSports.com. Let's put Friday in the win column right back here late Friday night with Saturday's report.